When it comes to the recently signed coronavirus relief bill, not a single GOP senator voted in favor of it. But it's really a strange situation when they go ahead and brag about it when they fought so aggressively against it. And one particular example is a Republican senator from Mississippi named Roger Wicker, who decided to tweet about all the wonderful things in the bill. Again, he voted against it, but on Twitter, he argued independent restaurant operators have won $28.6 billion worth of targeted relief. This funding will ensure small businesses can survive the pandemic by helping to adapt their operations and keep their employees on the payroll. But again, he voted against it. Now he and disgraced Senator Kyrsten Sinema proposed an amendment that would include that funding. And so after he voted against it, reporters wanted to know why. And the argument that he made was, one good provision in a $1.9 trillion bill doesn't mean I have to vote for the whole thing. So apparently he didn't care about helping small businesses and keeping people employed that much.
Yeah, no, look, you can't brag about a bill you didn't vote on. That's not a thing. So in fact, it's the opposite. Oh, now this provision is so good, it helps restaurant owners so much. And that's why I voted against it, to make sure you never get it. But that would be correct. You voted to make sure they couldn't get that great provision you're bragging about. That's not disputable. That is a stone cold fact. Now, Anna, why would he say something so absurd? Because they're not used to the media holding them accountable. Normally, lies like this by politicians were never called out, ever. 5 years ago, Roger Wicker would have gotten away with this, no problem at all, okay? But things have changed, partly because the media got more aggressive with Trump. But this is the one upside of social media. I've been saying this for a long time. The internet's gonna catch you. And so now when the internet catches somebody in an obvious lie like this, and then they blast it out all over social media, it makes the Democrats go, oh yeah, I guess we could call out their lies, couldn't we? And so the head of the DNC, Jamie Harrison, did that in this case. And then the media goes, oh, he said, she said, now we could actually say something. Now the Democrats say he's lying. No, it's not the Democrats say he's lying. He is, he didn't vote for the bill. In fact, you should write an article about Roger Wicker is proud to have voted against a provision that he thinks is great and would have helped you. Your senator brags about killing a bill that he thinks would have helped you so much. That's the correct title. What's that?
I hear what you're saying. It's a little clunky, it's a little lengthy, but I hear what you're saying.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
and look,
this senator and his decision to vote against the relief package has been written about by reporters. Obviously, that's how we know about it. And I think that their framing, as far as I've read so far, is correct. And look, the reason why he's doing this is because he doesn't want to be held accountable by his Republican constituents, who more than likely find this bill to be incredibly popular. In fact, Morning Consult recently did a poll and found that 75% of all US citizens favor this bill passing. That's 3 of every 4 Americans polled expressing support for this massive relief bill. So, Republicans certainly engaged in a miscalculated maneuver here, thinking that they would somehow spin this as, well, we're being responsible and we care about the deficit. But it doesn't matter if you're a Democratic voter or a Republican voter. We've been hearing about how bad the deficit is from Republicans when they're not in power over and over again. But they never have an issue with the deficit when it comes to voting in favor of massive tax cuts for corporations and the rich. So this talking point doesn't really go over well anymore. And when you look at the polling and you see how many Americans wanted this bill to pass, well, now Republicans find themselves attempting to spin their actions in some sort of positive way. And Wicker, did this in such a clunky, awful way. Other Republicans have decided that they're gonna downplay the success or some of the more popular provisions in the legislation. But so far as I've seen, Roger Wicker is the only one who's like, I'm gonna vote against it, but then I'm gonna brag about it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Well, look, last 2 quick things on this. Number one, the press still gets pressure to cover these stories after they get supernova hot on social media. Number two, they're still making 1,000 mistakes, including saying that asking the Biden administration over and over again, why didn't you get a bipartisan version of this bill? They did. 75% of the country, including a majority of Republicans, like this bill. Hence, it is bipartisan. If the actual question you should be asking logically is, why didn't Republican senators vote for a bill, and Republicans in the House, why didn't they vote for a bill that 59% of their own voters want? What is wrong with them? Why are they so against bipartisanship that the American people actually want? And the last quick note is, and this almost never happens, so I'll give credit where credit is due. Pelosi was right. She said after they vote against it, they'll attend ribbon cutting ceremonies and try to take credit for it in their districts. And that's exactly what happened.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.